The corruption of Emmerson Mnangagwa and his cabal in Zimbabwe has reached very alarming levels, to the point that even international organizations like the IMF have started to talk about it. Diplomatically, the IMF has indicated that Mnangagwa's corruption is hurting Zimbabwe negatively. So this is just a sign that things are not well in the country. When you start to see that the level of corruption that is being perpetrated by a president of a country is actually hurting the country more than anything else, that becomes a very worrying and worrisome issue, because this is the man who is supposed to be like the CEO of a company. You see, a president is like a CEO of a company. If a CEO is promoted to run a company, and then you come to do reviews, and then you realize that the company is actually sinking instead of becoming better, by every passing day, the company is running into loss, running even into a brain drain of very good skilled workers, and production is low and things like that. The next thing that happens is the CEO will have to be fired. There is no other way. And the CEO cannot be taking out a gun and threatening to shoot the board members because they have voted that he must go because of incompetence. This is the situation that we are finding in the country, where the CEO of Zimbabwe is the man who is actually at the top of making sure that Zimbabwe fails. Mnangagwa has failed, and he continues to fail day by day, and the situation is getting worse when we start to look at the number of corrupt activities, corruption scandals that are coming out, and we look at the magnitude of the monies that are involved. They are just very shocking. We are talking about monies that can be able to service and to run the country for quite some time, yet this money is being placed right inside the hands of individuals, which is very, very disturbing for a country. This is why our country is never getting anywhere, because the IMF right now have taken out a report saying Zimbabwe must address corruption to reduce vulnerabilities, the IMF says. So, in other words, here we simply have to remove the word corruption. We just have to remove the word corruption, and then we put Mnangagwa there. Zimbabwe simply have to reduce what Mnangagwa is doing, or even remove Mnangagwa, and that country may start to work. Because when you talk about corruption in Zimbabwe, you can't talk about corruption without talking about Mnangagwa. When you talk about dirty deals in Zimbabwe, you can't talk about dirty deals without talking about Mnangagwa. So Mnangagwa is the guy who is causing Zimbabwe right now to be vulnerable, Zimbabwe right now to be where it is. The situation in Zimbabwe not to ever become better. It is all thanks to one man, who is Emmerson Mnangagwa. And look at how he's connecting with young people, these young people that are uncultured, who are getting all these monies and becoming richer and filthy rich by every passing day, while Zimbabwe's economy is crumbling, while the economy of Zimbabwe is failing to work. And it's actually because of deliberate efforts that are being done to make sure that Zimbabwe does not work. So when they start to cry foul about what is happening with the Zimbabwean people beginning to reject them, Zimbabwean people beginning to speak against them, Zimbabwean people even threatening to demonstrate against Emmerson Mnangagwa and his government, they want to quickly come out to say, you want to subvert the will of the people. You want to remove a democratically elected government. You want to break the law and things like that. They are hiding behind many, many things that they know themselves that they are breaking themselves, because the lawbreaker, the very first lawbreaker of Zimbabwe is Emmerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF government. These are the lawbreakers. For them to come and tell us about the law really is totally out of question. So this is the situation on the ground. Mnangagwa and these people, they continue to be stealing. They continue to be milking the money from Zimbabwe. All the resources of Zimbabwe are being siphoned out of the country to other countries. And very, very painful to discover that the monies are being taken to other countries instead of maybe some people investing in Zimbabwe and making sure that the money circulates right within Zimbabwe. But it's not happening. They are actually enjoying to see Zimbabwe going down, while other countries of the world out there, where they are taking the monies, are becoming filthy rich, richer and richer by the day. And this is the problem that we are facing. So Zimbabwean people are supposed to get to a point where we definitely need to push for ZANU-PF's ouster. ZANU-PF must be removed from power, by whatever means. They must just go. And that is the only beginning of the freedom of the Zimbabwean people. That is only going to become the only gateway to bring Zimbabwe back to prosperity and to elevation. Otherwise, with these people at hand, we are never going to be seeing the light of day, like what Muswere was saying about demonstrators. We are not going to be seeing prosperity. We are not going to see any kind of development that is supposed to be coming to our country. All thanks to people that are so selfish and people that are thinking about their stomachs only. So when you see the International Monetary Fund now beginning to speak about it, it means they've realized, they've watched, they've analyzed and seen that no, these are only individuals that are busy corrupting the whole system of Zimbabwe. Otherwise, without these individuals, Zimbabwe could rise and Zimbabwe could become better. So let them enjoy it while it lasts, like we always say. But the day of reckoning is coming. Very, very soon, the truth shall be seen, and the truth shall come out, and truth shall be set, shall set the people of God free. We can't continue to be watching and looking at ZANU-PF doing all the shenanigans that they are doing and think that they are wiser and they are clever. They are not. It is just a matter of time. And time is going to tell whether these people are going to remain in power, retain whatever that they've stolen with during the years, or whether they are going to survive with this. But the truth of the matter is, everyone that is sinned against Zimbabwe shall have a catch-up. They are going to catch up with what they've done, and one day they are not going to like what is going to be happening to them, because justice shall be served for the Zimbabwean people. And the time of justice has come, because ZANU-PF is not going to live forevermore. It's not going to survive any other years again that are coming. We are watching the total collapse and total downfall of the system of ZANU-PF. So this is what it is, family. We are just giving you updates of what is happening around the country. The corruption continues to hurt the country. We continue to see other bodies now coming out to speak against it. And definitely it has to be done. Then we can now begin to see a working country that is everyone on board, everyone with equal chances to be able to prosper and to work hard and to make money and to live a normal life in Zimbabwe. All that is what we are crying for, and definitely it is coming our way. So thank you so much, family, for joining me on this show. I always encourage members of the family not to forget to subscribe to the channel so that you can always be receiving the notifications each time that we post a video or we come live, so that you don't miss some of the things that we discuss on this show. I appreciate you for joining me on this one. Let us be meeting in the next show.